What is up, hockey fans, and welcome back to Clean Sheet of Ice, a Texas hockey podcast presented by Apollo Media. Last night, we trashed Nashville. The Stars just wally-popped them 5-1. We're going to talk about the blackout jerseys. Was that the last time that we saw them on Dallas Stars ice? Are they gone? Are they done? Are they done forever? It's been 5 years. Or is it time for a new third jersey? I'm going to give you a practice update from this week on Tyler Seguin. Saw Miro Heiskanen last night in the tunnels heading towards the locker room after the game. And we're going to preview the next couple games, Saturday and Sunday. We got back-to-back afternoon games this weekend for the Dallas Stars. But I am your host, Tone Strankman. This podcast is brought to you by Zing Zang, America's #1 Bloody Mary mix. Go get it today wherever you get Zing Zang. I get it at the liquor store because it's right down the street, but you can get it at Target and other places. Zing Zang, America's #1 Bloody Mary mix. And Prize Picks. Love Prize Picks, daily fantasy app. Use code Apollo when you sign up and get up to $100 matched on your first deposit. Prize Picks is where you hit more or less on every stat, every game, every night, every player. Shout out to Prize Picks. Use code Apollo when you sign up and get up to $100 matched. I'm joined always by Dom Garcia. How we doing, bud?
We are doing good. And if you're not on Prize Picks, you need to, because WyattJohnston has been making a lot of people a lot of money. And I don't feel like this train he's riding, it's going to stop anytime soon. He looks great. Stars look great. And get on Prize Picks.
Yeah, I mean, 6 games in a row now with WyattJohnston scoring a goal. I'm assuming the 0.5 more than is a demon, which would count for 1.5 instead of, or 2.5. I don't remember what it is. I think it's 2.5 times your money if you pair that with another one. So get on that. WyattJohnston more than goals. It may never stop. It just might continue on forever. It's impressive.
Man, he's rolling, dude.
It's incredible to see. He just does it every night. So last night, the Stars played Nashville at home after a few days off, after a 4-game road trip where they were gone for over a week. They're back home. This typically is not a great game for the Dallas Stars. Pete DeBoer said it in his press conference last night. He's typically, after a week on the road, it's hard to get back into it at home on that first game back, trying to get back in the swing of things and try to find what you were doing on the road, especially with what they did on the road. They went 4-0. Continued their 6-game win streak at that point, and it started off terrible. It was like 17-5 shots in the first period. Jay Gottinger was incredible, stopped a bunch of breakaways. They went on a 4-minute power play to start the game. Absolutely no, they had one shot on goal. I think it was wyattjohnston. That was it on that 4-minute power play. Just a rough first period all around.
Yeah, and I had so much optimism seeing, like, oh my gosh, that penalty feel like we just barely dropped the puck. Now we're on the 4-minute power play. Let's go. Like, let's get out to a different Dallas Stars start. And boy, did it look all the same. But you know, if we're gonna play bad in any period, I'd rather it be in the first than the second or the third.
Yeah, absolutely. Matt Duchene said after the game that they did a really good job of having sticks in the right spots. They were pretty stingy on the blue line, but the Stars were a little lazy on the blue line. They weren't completely dialed into the game yet, and they had trouble getting it into the zone. They had like no offensive zone time in the first period. It was rough, to say the least. And Otter was exceptional once again, and you don't want to have to rely on your goaltender to win you games. And he's going to win you games here and there, especially in the playoffs. It's going to happen, but you don't want to have to rely on that to happen. You don't want to have to score 1 or 2 goals and be like, hey, can you stop 50 shots tonight? Please, thank you. And they've done that the last 5 games, but yeah, rough first period, but the second period was kind of much of the same. Stammer had that early goal in the second period, or I think it was the first shot on goal in the second period for him, and he just snuck it in short side on the post, and he's Stammer. He's going to score goals. Like, that's kind of what he does. And Otter was in the right position. He just didn't hug the post, and it snuck right in there.
Yeah, it's one of those plays that as you're kind of diagnosing it as a goalie, you kind of have to make a decision on what angle you're going to take. And, you know, it happens that you take maybe an angle that's a little off. And I think that's what I saw. And goal just kind of leaks right past Otter.
And I believe that was a 2-on-1 as well. There's only one defender, and the other guy's just wide open on the other side, on the other dot. So he was kind of getting ready to play the pass, and Stammer just shot it and found the leaky part of it, the goal. And it was a great goal. I don't think it was a bad play by Otter. It just happened to sneak right in, and it sucked. It took the wind out of AAC. It was a pretty good crowd last night. The loudest Stars chant during the national anthem that I heard of all season was last night, even without a completely full house. It was a sold-out game, but handful of empty seats I saw, but it was a Thursday night. It's a school night. I get it. It's not the weekend yet. It's fine. Everybody's saving their money for the playoffs. That's okay. I get it. Save the money for the playoffs. Make sure that puppy's sold out every game. But second period comes down to the last 4 to 5 minutes, I believe, and the Stars started heating up tremendously. There was one shift where it was Dadonov out there. He was in the kind of the defense position at the top of the point and fired a puck in. It went off of 2 defenders, I believe, and hit off the blocker of the Nashville goalie. I can't remember his name because it's not Saros. It was the backup goaltender, and I can't remember his name. I don't know his name. Sorry. I saw it several times last night. Don't know his name. Can't help you there. But hit off the post, back off the pad, and he lays down right on top of it. And I was like, that would have been nice. That would have been nice to have heading into the second period and go 1-1. And obviously those shifts kind of compounded on each other. They kept getting offensive zone time. They kept getting shots on goal. They kept crowding the net and just screening the goalie. They were doing all the right things, and they couldn't get that goal. And all of a sudden, Matt Duchene gets the puck, gets it over to his little face-off dot on the right side, fires it towards the net, right on the ground. It never left the ground. It was just Wayne Gretzky right on the ground, and all of a sudden, Granny right there gets a cross-check to the back. He's fallen down, hits his stick, pops right up, right into the goal. And it took them forever to call that a good goal. It hit the top of the net, went in immediately. I knew it. All the Stars players knew it. And it took them so long to do the good goal. The referees, it just took them so long. So the crowd pop was a little bit delayed because a lot of people were like, oh, that's in. And then they weren't calling it. And then they finally called it. And then it blew up. So 1-1 with, I think, 36 seconds left in the second period. And that was a huge goal.
Yeah. And the difficulty to deflect that in, like Unreal. The difficult pass from Duchene, but that's vintage Matt Duchene. We know he's going to make just circus plays. And at that point in the game, like as a Stars fan, we know Ottinger can just stand on his head and just be tough. But every time I see like near chances from the Stars, I'm like, all right, your goalie can't hang on like our goalie can. One of these is going to bounce in, and that's what we saw happen. Also, I love to see the physicality. There started to be a little chippiness going on around that time. Marchman laying people out. Bishop, we always know laying people out. And I feel like that was really that edge kind of caught fire on both benches. And yeah, Granlund, man, super nice pickup and unreal skill to deflect that perfectly in. I didn't notice that on the broadcast. I heard a huge pop, but maybe it was delayed, actually, now that I think about it.
Well, there was a pop and then a pause.
Yeah.
Because the goal horn wasn't going yet. There was a whole, it was only probably a second and a half where I was like, what the fuck are we doing here? That was in. That was so in. It couldn't have been more in. And I saw from the press box, like, how are we not calling that a goal? And then they finally called it. And then the big pop happens. Like, it was just slightly delayed that you could really only probably pick up in person. But yeah, I was getting a little nervous that they called that one no goal. And obviously they're all celebrating on the ice. And I was like, that's totally a goal, right? There's no way it's not. And it was. So tied 1-1. You mentioned the hits, the physicality in the game. You know who was throwing some hits last night? Someone you wouldn't suspect. Sam Steele. He was throwing his body around last night and getting after it. He was on the third line last night. No Jamie Benn. I do know why Jamie Benn was not in the game, but I cannot say it on this podcast. Do some deductive reasoning. You could probably find that out too. So Wyatt Johnson, Sam Steele, and Bork were on the third line. Sam Steele was throwing his body around. He was throwing some good hits. Like you could hear the pop of the glass of when the defender hit, or the Nashville guy would hit the glass. And I was like, Sammy's getting after it today.
Yeah, man. I mean, just it was like this was a game where a lot of people were around right in front of net for both teams, and it was just like, man, so many good chances, and you could definitely see an edge coming. And the Stars know, like, we can't keep having first periods like the first periods we've been having, and it's not getting frustrated to them, but they definitely respond after the first 10 minutes of the game. And I love seeing Sam Steele do something a little different.
Yeah, he was really good on the third line last night with Wyatt and Bork. It was an interesting line because they're all pretty small and fairly skilled players, but Sam was throwing some hits. He had to be the guy that was throwing hits because no Jamie on that line. So you got to protect your guys there. And he was getting after it. Third period comes, and I'm like, all right, let's just get the second goal out of the way. Just get it out of the way. Go get the second goal, and then we're off and running after that. And I had a feeling it was going to happen. I wasn't 100% sure, but I was probably 85% sure. Like, you get an early goal first 3 minutes of this period, and then it's over. It's done. It took maybe 30-something seconds. Just out of nowhere, Matt Duchene has the puck, gets it over to Mush. Mush just fires it from the far left side, like beyond the dot, the face-off dot, and fired it in. Got a little leaky and kind of crept through his elbow and his pad. So went in. Great pop from the crowd. Great pop. And you're up 2-1, 30-something seconds into the third period. And I was like, all right, this game's over. I did not expect what happened the rest of the period to happen, though.
Yeah, I mean, just listen, it's hard when the Stars are rolling. It's kind of like watching, when I was a Rockets fan, watching James Harden score like 40 every night. You kind of got used to it. But to be surprised the way I did in that third period, like, it's hard to outdo what you've already been setting a high bar. And that's what we saw. Just everybody clicking.
Yeah. And then shortly after that, a few minutes later, Bork gets the puck on the boards. He sees Wyatt Johnston streaking down the ice and in between the blue lines and fires a great pass right on target. Just a little hard. Wyatt did have to kind of reach for it a little bit, but he got control of it immediately. Bork took the hit immediately, right to his face, right into the boards, like hard hit, but got the pass to Wyatt, and Wyatt was on a breakaway, just all by himself. And I don't know if he saw my retweet. I don't know who tweeted it out, but it was Wyatt probably 3 feet in front of the goaltender, and the goaltender's just crept down, like on his face, essentially. Like, please, God, don't do anything stupid to me. Wyatt Johnston did something stupid to him. Just deep, forehand, goal.
Like, dude, this was like playing a game of EA Sports NHL. Like, that's what happens when you're playing Chell. Like, if you've ever watched the Mighty Ducks when they first play the Blackhawks and the Blackhawks are just absolutely torching them, that's Wyatt Johnston is like a real life Banks. Like, just too much skill for anybody else on the ice.
It was impeccable. I mean, he's on his second 5+ game goal streak of the season, a 5-game goal streak. No other player in the NHL has done that this year. Not Ovi, not Draisaitl, not McDavid, not McKinnon, not Makar. Makar hit 30 goals last night. Also impressive. But no one else has done that in the NHL this year. And Wyatt Johnston's like, yeah, I just did it twice. My contract still hasn't kicked in.
Like, you go back into that draft he was in and you see where he was at and all the players in front of him. You're just like, how did these other GMs let Jim Nill do this?
It was the COVID draft, because we got Stankoven in that draft as well in the second round.
Jesus.
Second round. And it's Jim Nill was on multiple different podcasts. He was on Spit and Chicklets. He was on DLS. He mentioned the draft in both of those and was like, yeah, I mean, I just have to credit the scouts, because they were like, look out for this kid. COVID happens, then you don't have any games really. And then they start playing a little bit of games before the draft, and it's like a little showcase. And Wyatt Johnston was not the best player in those showcases, but they saw certain aspects of his game. They're like, he fits. He does all the right things. He's going to progress. He's going to do all these things. Like, he hasn't reached his full potential, and he didn't have a full season of minor league right there, or junior league. So they just kind of relied on the scouts that had scouted him for the couple years before. And along with Stankoven, same thing, like smaller players, but skilled players and smart players. And that's kind of what the Stars look at. And they got Wyatt late in the 20s. I mean, he's 30 something points above the second place guy in that draft. I think it's Matty Beniers in Seattle. He was a great player. I think he won the Calder that year. I think Wyatt should have won it, but whatever. Wyatt, that breakaway was nasty, but Bork is the biggest part of that play, is being able to fire that pass on target to give Wyatt the opportunity for a breakaway, for him to finish it off. Because if he gets a breakaway, he's going to finish it off. That's not a problem there. But it's just, that goal was insane. So shout out to Bork for that one. The next goal, top line. Welcome back, top line. They were really good last night. I believe Mikko Rantanen was the highest graded Star on hockey score stat sheets or whatever that they tweet out every night. He was the one that had the most bars and the positives. So that was cool. But they get into the zone. It's a 3-on-1 with the top line. Do you know how horrifying it has to be for the defender and the goalie to see all three of those guys rushing at you with only one defender in front of them? Horrifying.
You pointed it out last episode on how Robo's like Mr. iPad, but now you're starting to see Mikko and Rupe next to him. I noticed it a lot last night. Like you're right. Like they're every single time, and Mikko's doing a lot of talking in it too. Like he's the one kind of being like, all right, this was good, this was great, we need to be here next time. But dude, like I think I texted you like this was nuts. Like the skill it takes and with ease they make those passes, just bang, bang, bang. Within a second, you're down another goal. Like that top line, we had the best top line in hockey, and I think this one is even better than the one we used to have, man.
It's insane. Yeah, so the goal, Robo comes in with the puck. He gives it over to Mikko. It's a little bit behind him, so he has to go to he has to go behind his skate a little bit, grab the puck. He sauces it over to Robo. Robo sends it over the opposite way to Rupe for a tap in. Just a tap in tip, basically, is all it really was inside the crease. It was magical. I saw that happening, and I was like, it's 3-on-1 with the top line. That's a goal. I don't know who's getting it, but that's a goal immediately. And Mikko was trailing Rupe right as the tip in was happening. If there was a rebound, that'd be happening. And they're all doing those same things. And like you said, with the iPad, I mentioned it to Mikko at practice the other day on Wednesday, I believe. I went to practice in Frisco, and I was like, what's up with the iPad? Like, Robo loves the iPad, but it seems like y'all are all communicating off of what's going off of the iPad now. And he goes, yeah. There's a lot of chemistry starting to brew. It took a few games, obviously, to kind of understand where everybody's spots were, but we're feeling more comfortable. The chemistry we're still getting there. We're not all the way there yet. And I was just like, that's so terrifying because everyone had points in that Calgary game. Like everyone's scoring goals, everyone's getting assists. Like they look so crispy. And that 3-on-1 wasn't significantly crispy, but they did all the right plays and it led to a wide open net.
Yeah, you texted me and you were in the arena. And I was thinking the same thing right before you even texted me. I was like, man, I don't know if I've ever seen the Stars look this good in this third period. Like, and they've looked great all year.
Yeah, it was the best period of hockey that they played all season by far. And we still have another goal to get to. That's terrifying. Yeah, so they're up 4-1 at this point, and then they get a little bit of a rush. Bischel kind of comes in towards the left face-off dot and just fires a wrister. He fired a few during the game, and I was like, he's going to get one pretty soon. I don't know if it was going to happen last night or before the regular season. I was like, his shot's looking really good and really hard. Obviously, he's 6'7". He's Hercules, like Greek god. I don't know what to describe Leon as. He's all of the things, but he fired that shot left side, got under the blocker, and his third NHL goal. He scored his first NHL goal on his debut against Nashville back in December. That was a bad game, but he got his debut goal in his debut and gets his third NHL goal against Nashville, second against them. And yeah, he looked really good last night. He was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, when that goal, I thought that puck was going to rip through the net. He hit that thing so hard. Like when this game, more than I've seen most, like Bischel really was putting everything into his slappers, and it paid off. I was really happy to see. I think, was it Mikko Rantanen that set him up on that?
Yeah, it was Mikko's second assist of the night.
Yeah.
He's got 51 on the season, by the way.
No big deal. Just,
30 goals, 52 assists, or 51 assists. Not a big deal.
But yeah, I love seeing that. And the crowd, they pop for every goal. You said they were great. But I really heard a giant pop. It was right after the Dallas Stars like game presentation does a great job, and they time things really well. And sure enough, like they had a moment where the crowd was into it, and then 20 seconds later, slapper from Liam Bischel right into the net. Everybody's going crazy.
Yeah, it was a exceptional third period. Obviously, 4 goals in the third period. That'll do. That'll play. But my favorite part of the third period was Colin Blackwell. And out of all the goals, like the tic-tac-toe, the Wyatt breakaway, all of the things that happened, Mush scoring 30 seconds into the third period, like all of those things were amazing. I had a great time. Fist pumped a little bit in the press box. I hope no one saw me. There was a lot of scouts. The press box was full last night. The elevator getting down to the into the locker room after the game was terrible. Just sardines. There's people everywhere. We're heading towards the playoffs, so people are there. But Colin Blackwell, he's kind of just past the red line, heading towards the blue line, and skates a little bit sideways and gets tripped up. And Nashville had already been bitching at the refs about diving of the Stars, and there was no diving happening at all whatsoever. Stammer was screaming at the refs when he got a penalty in that, I believe, the first or second period. But Colin Blackwell gets tripped up. He gets up. He's heading over towards the puck. Nashville touches up, and the penalty's called, and Blackwell just kind of stops. And then that guy, whoever tripped him for Nashville, came over and hit his stick on his Blackwell's legs because he's frustrated. And Blackwell just immediately drops the gloves, drops his stick, and he just grabs him. And it was not a fight. It was just a wrestling match. And I think he took him down, and then he ended up on the bottom. It's whatever. Blackwell's a smaller guy. He's my height. He's 5'8". Like, just funny as hell. But that whole interaction was hilarious. They both get sent to the box, but Dallas goes on a power play. They don't score there, but I believe that Rupe tic-tac-toe goal happens right after the power play ended. But nevertheless, incredible interaction, and he's been getting after it the whole time. Like, he's been hitting people. He's been a pest the whole game. Nashville's pissed off at him. They hate him. It's been happening multiple times over the last month and a half with Blackwell. I saw Blackwell in the locker room before we started talking to Jake, and I was like, dude, that was fun. And he was like, that was fun. It's like, he knew exactly what I was talking about and gave a fist bump, and he was out of there. But yeah, shout out to Colin Blackwell. Blackie's been an exceptional player for the Stars when he's in or out of the lineup. He's a big vocal guy in the locker room as well, as from what I can tell, and the boys love him. So shout out to Colin Blackwell for that interaction last night. It was so funny.
The broadcasters were so stunned because, like, the camera crew did not catch it because the puck was near the other end of the ice, and like, I didn't see. All we saw was them on the ground, and the broadcaster was like, "Oh, Blackwell getting his hands a little dirty over here. Okay, I see how it's going tonight." Like, it was fun. Yeah, I mean, you got to talk to him. He was having fun. All the fans were having fun, and I was also having fun.
Yeah, and I mean, Dumbo was throwing big hits last night too for the first time in what seems like a long time. That we haven't seen Dumbo just get super physical. I think he's trying to be more cautious and more safe on the defensive side, which is perfectly fine. Bishop was going around behind the net with the puck in the offensive zone like Thomas Harley would. Like, everyone was just kind of just doing their own thing, and it was perfect last night. And Blackwell obviously was part of that. So, hell of a game, 5-1. You take that against, I mean, they're the third worst team in the league, and we're the third best team in the league. So it ended up how it should have, but it took over 2 periods to get to where it was. So good win, great third period, best period of hockey they played all season. But you take those. Unfortunately, Winnipeg trounced Vegas last night. We had a chance to get to 2 points. Still at 4 now.
That's just like the story of the Winnipeg Jets. Like that this is just what they're going to do. Lost, at least with me on this game, was Jake Ottinger. Like, if we get this Jake Ottinger into the playoffs, man, I don't foresee, no matter how talented your front line is, like, he's just too good. Like, he's too good.
And Casey's just doing the same thing as Jake.
Yeah.
They're like, and it's insane. I don't think Jake got 30 shots on goal last night, but I think it was 28, 29, somewhere in there. And he only let that one in from Stammer, who's one of the best goal scorers of this generation. So if it's going to be someone on Nashville, it's him or O'Reilly, and you're like, okay, that was probably going to happen anyway. So it happened. 1 goal. Great game from Jake. He was exceptional. We talked to him first. He was one of the third. I think he was the first star of the game, and much deserved. He's exceptional last night. He had a few breakaways that he just stopped without worry at all whatsoever in the first 2 periods. Like, it was insane, the goals that he was stopping. Yeah. So shout out to Jake. Just our guy, Jakey. Love that guy.
Love him.
Last night, the Stars wore the blackout jerseys. I've been on the record saying that I don't really like them because I can't read the numbers from the press box. It's hard. It's tough to see from up there. The outline of the jersey is cool when you're wearing it, but from the press box view, it's tougher to see who it is. I said it earlier in the season. I was like, oh, look at Sam Steele. He's on a breakaway. It was Oscar Back. 2 very different players. There's 7 inches of height difference there, and they skate differently. I couldn't tell. That was my issue with it, because the 10 and the 18 looked identical on the ice. So blackout jerseys, that may have been the last time that we saw them on the Dallas Stars AAC Ice. They were 25% off last night at the hangar, all blackout jerseys, not just one blackout jersey, because they do this, like they do an item of the night where it's 20% off and they try to sell one item and give people a little discount. And last night they were 25% off and it was all blackout jerseys. So was that the last time that we saw the blackout jerseys, and are we getting a new third jersey next year?
I think Stars Countdown tweeted out that there was some sort of like video or not. I don't know if it was a video, but
yeah, it was pregame. They did a whole blackout thing. It was one of the better pregame. I love the Texas version of it where they're doing like all the cattle and cowboy kind of stuff pregame, but they did a blackout version last night and it was sick. It was a good little send off, I believe.
Yeah, they sure, I mean, discount aside, they sure made it feel like this might have been the last time. And I've liked the jersey. It's just one of those things where like, there's so much money to be made with a new jersey. Plus, like the Stars brand could use a new jersey, and it just feels like it's one of those times where it's time for something new. Here, the Rockets get a new jersey every year, and I don't even know about it. But
yeah,
like. If you don't have one now, you better get one because it certainly feels like the blackout jerseys are going away and a new one's coming in.
And the whole design of it's really cool. I loved them when they first came out, and then as the year we've been 5 years, so they came out in 2020, 2021 season, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready for a new third one. Fanatics is the new jersey sponsor for the NHL. They are trying to get rid of most Adidas jerseys, like the Adidas reverse retros or the third jerseys that they've had over the last several years that they've been in partnership. They're trying to get rid of those and bring in their own Fanatics jerseys. And I think that was probably the last time we saw them. And I saw someone last night tweet out a little Photoshop action of the current logo, the one that you have on your chest right now. Same color scheme, victory green in the middle, but it had the star outline on the bottom, like the 90s jerseys on the bottom, where it was black on the bottom, but victor green on the top, and has a little star outline on the bottom. And I was like, I can get down with that one. That one is a little blast from the past, but keeps the current logo and color scheme. That one would be cool as just a normal primary. Third jersey, I have no idea what's going to happen. Sean Shapiro, I think he wrote an article, or maybe he just tweeted it out. He was talking to someone high up with the Stars and was like, hey, is this the last blackout jersey? Are we getting a new third jersey next year? And he's like, I'm not going to break any news with the jersey. I'm going to keep that silent until the time happens. Like if we're doing it, if we're not, whatever. Like I'm just going to keep that silent. If the blackouts come back next year or they don't, whatever. So Sean Shapiro was trying to get some news, and he got nowhere with it. But all indications are saying that was the last time we saw the blackout jerseys in AAC.
Like, if there's no real plan forward, they could have just said, yeah, no, they'll be back. But they didn't. And the Stars, they'll do that. They will. Mm-hmm. If it's hard, anything. They keep their cards, and it's hard to bust them. But, hopefully we get an outdoor game, and it sounds like we will. I don't know when, but it sounds like we will. And I think a new jersey's coming. Yeah,
would love that. Would love a new third jersey. I'm over the skyline green, as they call it. The neon green is what's on it. And I'm just like, It was cool for a season or two. But you also had the reverse retros during that time, the first couple of years. And I'm just like, the reverse retro, the old logo with the star design on the jersey, like that just does it for me. And I don't know what it is. But I'm always also just a retro guy. Like the Dolphins have better retro jerseys. The Astros, like the rainbow jerseys, count me in. Like all in on those. Like the Mavs, I mean, the green and the blue with the cowboy hat on the M, like count me in. I'm all in on retro jerseys for all of my teams and pretty much across the board. Like the Kings, they went back to the retro logo, and I'm just like, yeah, that's better. The Ducks, going back to a retro logo. Yes, that works with the new colors and everything. So we'll see what happens. So blackout jerseys probably gone, but back to practice on Wednesday. Tyler Seguin skating. He looked fast. His shot looked good. He was having fun, smiling as always, always smiling. Skated in the fourth line jersey. He got some PK one time. They were doing power play drills in the offensive zone where the offense just gets the puck automatically, and then they just kind of cycle through. He was getting PK one time. He was with Sam Steele and Labushkin, and I can't remember it was Lindell. Yeah, Lindell, Labushkin, Steele, and Seguin were out there on PK1. So I thought that was interesting. He's still not cleared for contact per Pete DeBoer after practice, but getting closer.
Yeah, and this is perfect timing. I mean, this is the exact scenario you kind of hoped for when we heard about the news of him going on LTIR. It's like now he has the time to, in practice, and maybe not with contact, but he has the time to kind of get back in the flow with his new line mates, old line mates, whoever he's going to be with. And you were there and you said he looks good. And I think Robert Tiffin was saying, like, they're probably just being extra cautious because he's looking great on the ice, skating wise.
Yeah, I think. Let me look at the schedule, because next week we got a few games. Right, we got, obviously we play Pittsburgh on Saturday, Minnesota on Sunday, and then you play Van Tuesday, Winnipeg Thursday, home against Utah on Saturday. That's kind of what I'm looking at, is that one or the Monday game against Detroit. Get him a couple of games under his belt, maybe scratch him. Like if he comes back on Utah, play him at home against Utah, let him have Detroit off, and then play him the last game of the season. Maybe that's what happens in Nashville, but I don't know. I just hope that he gets at least a couple of games under his belt. If it's just one game, then it is what it is, and at least he skated and he was on the ice for a game. So we're getting closer with Tyler Seguin, but he looked really good. He's just got to get clear for contact.
Yeah, and I think that's all you could really ask for when I heard what happened to him, and I'm excited to see. I'm really excited to see what lines he goes with, but him on a second PK unit, disgusting.
Yeah, and obviously Granlund's been awesome on that second line with Duchesne and Mush over the last week or two. He's really starting to form that chemistry with that line, and if you just want to ease Seguin in, you put him on the third line with Ben and Wyatt. Okay. All right. Just ease him in with that line. Sure. Why not? Let's do it. I don't know.
Love it.
We'll see. So Seguin hopefully coming back soon. Got to get clear for contact. That's the last hurdle to get through, I think. And then saw Miro Heiskanen last night underneath in the tunnels heading towards the locker room. I did not see a brace over his suit pants. That doesn't mean he didn't have a brace on underneath the suit pant, but it's been over the suit pant the last few times that I've seen him. So he looks like he's good. He was walking pretty clean, no limp, no brace. Thought that was interesting. Hopefully we get him back mid-first round. That's what I'm kind of thinking right now.
That would just be, I would love that, but man, like how many other what other team could say that a Miro Heiskanen level player is coming back to and they're already in the top of the division? Like, just an embarrassment.
Vegas with Mark Stone over the last 5 years.
Yeah, and that's hopefully it's over with that. Like
I talked to Brent Severin at practice. He was sitting next to me. None of the other reporters wanted to come into work, apparently. No, Sam and Robert are both on LTIR. They both got hurt over the last 2 weeks. It's a very funny story, so go check out their socials for those. Well, Sam's not as much, but Robert's was very funny. I was talking to Brent. I was like, what do you think, like, is it possible that he comes in for game one? And he's like, yeah, I think, like, you might just have to prepare for no round one with him. Like, once he tore his MCL, what Brent said, Sevy of Victory Plus. He's one of the guys in between the periods with Brian Ray. But he was saying, yeah, when I tore mine, I played with the brace the rest of my career. So it's just like, if he can come back and he can make the cuts and stop on a dime and all that kind of stuff, then yeah, he's going to play round one. It's just, how quickly can he get there? He started skating before April. I said, if he starts skating by April, he's back for the playoffs at some point. Just don't know when. He said, yeah, it's possible. We just got to see where he's at. And once he starts skating at like morning skate or at practice and everything, then we're on Miro watch. Obviously, the same thing with Seguin. So we'll see what happens. No brace on top of the suit pants. I thought that was big news.
Yeah, it's really big news.
So we'll see what happens this weekend. Saturday, tomorrow. We're recording this Friday, April 4th, obviously. But Pittsburgh Penguins afternoon game, 2:00 at AAC. I will not be there. I have a function to go to that night, so I'm not going to go to the game. But I'm going to watch it before I get ready. And Pittsburgh, they're not very good, so should win that game. I would assume Casey DeSmith gets the start in net.
I would agree with you. Should be really my only focus, man. Just come out physical in the first. Like, I don't really need, I mean, I would love to see points, but that's my concern, is come out of the first period awake. like that first 10 minutes is really important. It's a game you should win. But yeah, like just Casey DeSmith, I don't know how many more games he has left in net this season, but man, it'd be nice to see him get another shutout.
I feel like they might just alternate him. Like, I think Jake gets the game at Minnesota on Sunday. Obviously, it's a back-to-back. Casey used to play for Pittsburgh. It's a little get-back game at them, kind of matches up. And then Jake loves to play against the Minnesota Wild. So I think that just kind of works out in the sense of off-the-ice things. Like, that just kind of works. I don't know what Pete DeBoer will do, but that's what I would do if I was Pete DeBoer. I'm not Pete DeBoer. And we've said it before. Whatever you think is logical and is going to happen is probably not going to happen. So we might see Jake on Saturday and then Casey on Sunday. But Pete knows that Jake loves to play Minnesota. So I think we'll get that. And it's 2 games that you should get. Minnesota's still kind of in that playoff spot, and they're still fighting. So I think that's a good playoff test for Jake on the road against a team that he loves to play against from his home state. And just kind of another 3-0 shutout like we saw the other week. That would be cool. It'd be fun.
Yeah. And current Jake Ottinger has been rolling, but you add that little extra motivation of playing his favorite team, the Minnesota Wild. Good luck scoring on him.
Yeah, and obviously the Stars are on a 7-game win streak, so it may not last forever. And it's okay if they lose one of these games. It's okay if they don't get the number 1 seed in the West. It's okay. It'd be fun to do it. It'd be fun to be winning out, but we saw what happened last year. They went on a 10-2 run at the end of the season. They got the number 1 seed. They missed the President's Trophy by a point or 2, and we were like, all right, we're cruising. And then round 1, obviously, you get Vegas, and it's like, this sucks. This sucks, dude. 7 games. And then round 2, you get Colorado. This sucks. 6 games, but really 7 because you went to double OT. Like, you're just kind of dead. So hopefully they're not using all their good hockey. I think they're peaking at the right time. We've said it on this podcast before. You don't want them to peak in January. You don't want them to peak in December. Like we said it about Winnipeg this whole season. They've just been at a peak the entire time. They haven't fumbled at all. But we're peaking at the right time. It's April when they're peaking.
Yeah, and you love to see it. And like, I did not know the peak would look like this. If the peak is that third period last night, boy, I don't trust any other team to beat Dallas. I really don't.
No. So yeah, Saturday afternoon games, both games. I think they're both 2:00 against Pittsburgh at home, and then at Minnesota on Sunday. Then they'll be back at home for Vancouver, Winnipeg, and I believe the Utah game. So it'll be fun. See how this season turns out. We only got a handful of games left. It's almost over. The regular season's almost done, and we finally have almost made it to the playoffs. Very exciting time in Dallas. It's going to be a very fun playoff atmosphere in AAC, and then we've got one of the best teams. Like, we have no holes once Seguin and Miro comes back. No holes at all whatsoever. So
yeah, like not one. And if you're a fan of the Dallas Stars, do anything you can to get to the arena. We need a packed house. wyattjohnston's got a bobblehead coming up. Like
Tuesday.
We need as much as we need the Stars on the ice that third period to last all the way into the playoffs. We need that fan support that was there last night as well to carry into the playoffs, because that was fun to hear.
Yeah, it was a great crowd. So let's keep that rolling into the playoffs. Obviously, playoffs, I know it's going to be loud. It's going to be great. It's going to be full. Let's just keep doing it. I mean, we've got Pittsburgh, we got Vancouver, Winnipeg, Utah, and I think that's the last 4 home games that we have this season. So pack it out. Let the boys know that you're there. Get on the refs when you need to. There was a couple of questionable calls last night, but they weren't too questionable. They did call Bischel at the end of the game, and he was pissed. He slammed a stick against the penalty box. But, yeah, overall, refs were a little bit better. The Stars had a great third period. The defense looked good. Jake was awesome. Keep it rolling. Keep it rolling, boys. I mean, 7-game win streak, 9-game point streak. Not a big deal.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Just keep on rolling, boys. We're almost there, almost in the home stretch. And you got 4 more home games, a few more games after that. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to talk about heading into the playoffs, and we'll be back pretty soon. We'll be back, I believe, Tuesday. We're going to record before the Vancouver game, and we're going to get that out. So for next week, Tuesday's episode, and then we're going to have a Friday episode as well. Heading into the playoffs, we're getting so close. We're so close to just having playoff hockey. And we'll be back probably more often than not during the playoffs. We might do 3 a week during the playoffs, just depending on scheduling and all that kind of stuff, to make sure that we're talking about games kind of recently as opposed to 2 or 3 games at a time. Maybe we'll do 1 at a time. We'll see what happens in the playoffs. We'll update you on the scheduling there. But want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Zing Zang, America's #1 Bloody Mary mix. Go get it wherever you get Bloody Mary mix or McGlade or Margarita mix. America's #1 Bloody Mary mix. Zing Zang. Zang responsibly, and shout out to Prize Picks. Use code Apollo when you sign up. Get up to $100 match on your first deposit. Prize Picks is a daily fantasy app where you hit more or less on every stat, every game, every night, every player. We love Prize Picks. We love Zing Zang. Thank you for sponsoring this episode. Dom, thank you for joining me, and thank you for listening. Hit that subscribe button or the like button wherever you get your podcast, or on our YouTube at ApolloHOU. We'll be back very, very soon. Another episode of Clean Sheet of Ice, the Texas Hockey Podcast.